You're listening to Chicagoland's finest podcast, featuring the Gorehound.
Well, because I'm bringing us in.
Jen.
I mean, it's horrifying because,
Cousin Charles. And Nick.
I know. I thought I was going to screw it up again.
It's time for the all-new Culture Cast, starting now.
We're going to text him quickly, and if he's not on in another minute, we're just going to start. He could join us.
Hello.
Oh, hey! There you are. I wasn't talking bad about you.
Sure you weren't.
All right, so, Charlie, which one did you actually watch? The first one or the second one?
I watched the second one.
Okay.
The Royal Wedding.
Okay, good. Because when I saw you post, I was concerned that you watched the wrong one. I was going to be like, ugh.
No, I remember that they...
As deep as these films are with their narrative complexities, but...
Yeah, no. So, I knew you guys had done the first one last year, but I didn't know... I was like, what was it called? So, because it's not Christmas Prince 2, it's Christmas Prince, the Royal Wedding.
Yeah. It's different.
And I did not watch the first one. I'm going to assume there was some sort of caper involving stealing the crown. Am I correct in that assumption?
Yes, you are 100% correct.
I should probably say that. I should probably save my questions about Christmas Prince 1 for the actual podcast itself.
That's okay. As far as I'm concerned, we've been going. Let's just jump right into this.
So the beginning of the podcast is us talking about how Kyle is a jerk for not being on the podcast? Perfect.
Pretty much, yes.
People love seeing how the chicken's made.
Yeah. Terrific. All right, I guess I'll do the intro then. I'm Nick.
I'm Cousin Charles.
And I'm Jen.
This is called planning. And we're the all-new Culture Cast, back again for an all-new episode in which we're talking about the latest romantic comedy / political thriller, A Christmas Prince, The Royal Wedding, now to be found on Netflix. And Jen, this is all your fault because
absolutely.
But I thank you for it because this movie was absolutely amazing. And we about a year ago we did an episode on the first one, so be sure to check that out, people. And now we're talking about number 2, so we'll get into all of that here in a moment. But let's quickly go through our favorite topics here. What have you been watching? Jen, let's start with you. Have you been watching anything fun lately?
Actually, I went and saw an opera recently. The Chicago Opera House is doing La Traviata, which is the opera that Rent is based off of. So it's basically, poor Parisians, I think, who are, they're all basically getting sick and passing away and, trying to make rent money so that Benny won't kick them out of their New York apartment or whatever. And so it's basically, it's if you've seen Rent, it's sort of the same plot, but it's different in that, it's 1872, and they're French or possibly Italian. And anyway, but it was really cool. I don't get to see a lot of high art like that, and so it was really neat to kind of go see something a little different.
I don't think I've seen an opera since I was a little kid when my aunt took me to see it for me to get a little bit more culture. I should go back just to, because I never really think I could truly experience to say whether I like it or not. I don't know if that makes sense.
Right.
But yeah, okay. Well, that's cool. Cuz, what about you?
Yeah. So I've tried. Yeah. That was complete hot garbage that came out of my mouth. No, so what I've been kind of watching, I've not been indulging in the high arts, singing the operas. I got 3 things I could possibly talk about really fast. I saw over the Thanksgiving holiday a few weeks back. It's been a while since I've been on the podcast, so but with my dad, when we were kind of having some downtime, we watched I think it came out last year, the Murder on the Orient Express with...
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I watched that a couple weeks ago. What'd you think of it?
Yeah, it was okay. I mean,
Ringing
it's
endorsement.
I mean, there's really not much to say. It's like I'll be honest. I probably would not have gone to the theater to see it, but at home, it's perfectly fine. It's a good Sunday afternoon kind of film. You just put it on in the background. It does. I would say the best thing it's got going for it is the cast is actually pretty good. Like in terms of all the people, in terms of kind of like the star power that they got in there. I was like, okay, but it's really. I mean, there's nothing really that I never read the original Agatha Christie. There we go. I never really read the original source material of it, but it seems like it was a pretty straightforward adaptation as far as I can tell. I mean, there wasn't really any sort of like, it's this story, but we're doing this with it. It's like, no, I think this is pretty much, how that story goes. I mean, no real, twist to it all. I mean, the only thing my dad pointed out was that they dropped Murder on the Nile, which I think is another Agatha Christie book. So I guess Kenneth Branagh wants to do the Agatha Christie cinematic universe. The other things I've seen, the second thing I wanted to mention is this one isn't necessarily a TV show or movie, but I've been going through this podcast that I've heard about it for a while because a couple other podcasts were hawking it, but it's Marvel did I think with Stitcher they did they're doing a radio. It's kind of like a radio drama called Wolverine: The Long Night. It's kind of like a murder mystery. It's basically a radio play, but it's got Wolverine in it. I think it has
Does it have Hugh Jackman in it?
It does not, unfortunately, have Hugh Jackman, which is a
Pass.
big. Yeah, it has. Oh God, who's the main dwarf guy from The Hobbit? I know that Richard Armitage. So he is the voice of Logan. I mean, and trust me, they use him quite sparingly because I'm sure he probably didn't come cheap. He's got all that Hobbit money. But no, it's pretty good. It's like 10 episodes. I think I'm at 7, so I got to finish the rest of that. But it's pretty good for what it is. I mean, I like listening to podcasts on road trips and stuff. So keep me very interested. And the last thing I saw, or the last thing I kind of wanted of what I've been watching is, last night Megan and I saw A Star Is Born, which surprisingly is still in theaters. And that was also a pretty good movie. I have not seen the original, the other 2 iterations of the story, but it was pretty good for what it was. It was very much a well-made movie. I mean, it's not necessarily, it's kind of a musical, but I mean, it's not a musical in the sense of I'm going to sing out what I'm thinking, but there's plenty of music involved. I mean, the big hook is, Lady Gaga's in it. And if you liked her performance on American Horror Story, she does pretty good in this as well. I mean, Lady Gaga's very, she's got that good screen presence, But yeah, so that's what I've been watching and listening to.
All right. Well, that's terrific.
Yay.
I've not been watching a whole lot, just the couple of the shows I've been watching on TV, which are now going into their what they call the fall finale, which has been the new buzzword on TV for the past couple of years when they are on their winter breaks. But things like Empire and The Flash and stuff like that I like to watch. So nothing too exciting there. So that's that. I guess without Gorehound here, we won't do Man Crush of the Week. But so I guess we'll jump into our story of the day: A Christmas Prince, The Royal Wedding. Which, excuse me, I have the hiccups. Which I'm surprised they made a sequel to this. Jen, what are your thoughts on them making a sequel to A Christmas Prince?
First of all, I am not at all surprised they made a sequel to this, because I think what you have to remember is that the first one had a lot of cultural cachet. I mean, I don't understand, so let me rephrase this. I don't understand the Netflix business model. I don't think it makes financial sense. But I will say, if what they're looking for is tweets, the Christmas Prince had it all. So I definitely think that's why they did it, because they they made money, question mark. However exactly Netflix makes money off of things. They made the equivalent of that with the first one.
Didn't you say, or wasn't the story behind this, and you might remember this better than I do, that the Christmas Prince Part 1, like Netflix like put a press release out saying stop watching this movie, whoever you are, because someone was watching it on repeat?
They said that they tweeted, I believe, that there were, like, I don't know, 21 people or something who had watched it 50 times since it had been released.
God.
Which is, first of all, amazing. Like, you know how sometimes you feel like, are corporations secretly monitoring me this whole time? Yes. Yes, they probably are.
Although,
and they're going to tweet about you.
I have to wonder, and this is me being cynical, if that actually happened, or if Netflix just said it happened to help promote the movie or make the movie go a little viral. Because...
like, does it matter?
I suppose not, because Netflix is super secret about its streaming information. That,
absolutely.
You're never quite sure what's on up. But it's amazing how quickly they pumped this movie out, which I guess probably didn't take too much. They probably still had all the sets and everything from the previous film, but just how quickly from the initial release from initial production to release was done, but I don't know, maybe they did it like a TV movie where a TV show where it's just done in a quicker format, but I guess I should say I'm surprised how quickly it came out within like a year's time of the first movie there, and especially playing into obviously the royal wedding.
I mean, right, when you consider that Meghan Markle we didn't know she and Prince Harry were dating until November 2017, and now it's, December 2018, and they not only, went public with their relationship, got married, and now they're already pregnant. I mean, honestly, when they have, the Holiday Prince part 3, now there's a baby or something, I think it's just a matter of time. They're writing it as we speak.
Oh, guaranteed.
Yeah. I think they kind of hinted at that near the end of this movie, that part 3, it's about us having kids. We're gonna have the little babies.
Yeah, what they say, something like, wow, I don't know how we could top this Christmas. Well, there's always next Christmas. Look at camera, wink.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
Yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised if it's announced that there's going to be the Christmas Prince, the royal birth, or I don't know, whatever the term that's actually used. But well, there we go. So
the Christmas Prince, The Force Awakens.
Yeah, that'll be the fourth one, like the Sharknado films, The Force Awakens. So let's Jen, you when we were talking about doing this, you sent on Facebook, I can't remember what, something about how this movie's all about politics, and I joked earlier how this was a romantic comedy, but actually it's a political thriller at the same time.
I mean, thriller is perhaps an overstatement, but
true,
for a movie that is ostentatiously about a couple that's been, together and apart for the past year, and now they're finally going to live together, like, they're weirdly sexless, right? Like, they just don't seem particularly interested in the physical pursuits.
It's funny you bring that up, because I was watching this movie with the Kiwi, and she came in 30 minutes into the movie, and so within 2 minutes I was able to catch her up.
Sure.
And she was watching it without intending on actually watching it. Like, she was going to sit down a few minutes while we ate, and then she was going to go off and do her own thing. But she got sucked into the movie, and one thing she noticed is like, they don't really act like they're actually in love. And like,
no,
well, the first one they kind of do, but this movie, they are apart for so much of it.
Right.
And because he's dealing with his, political mumbo jumbo, and she's dealing with planning the wedding but being frustrated because the Nigerian prince who's planning the wedding is he's not a Nigerian prince, but anytime I see him he looks like a con man or something. But they're causing issues there, so it's like a lot of stuff is going on where they're not able to interact, and even the Kiwi's like, are they having sex at all? I'm like, Well, I would presume in the year they've been together that's happened, but maybe they...
I mean, it's right. It's interesting. I think you can still have a story in which the couple is being kept apart by forces outside of themselves. I mean, even if we just had them like looking at each other's butts when they left the room or something, I just don't feel like. I feel like somebody could turn on this movie and think they were siblings, and people would be like, "Yeah, that's about right," you know.
Well, let's not forget this is a movie for children. I don't think there necessarily needs to be explicit sexual overtones.
I mean, look, I'm not saying they need to get to third base on screen or something. I'm not saying that. I guess I just feel like, I mean, do they even like hold hands? I feel like they don't until suddenly they're getting married and
I think there are a few times they are holding hands, but
it's just not.
It is definitely a weird. I don't know if it's the acting or the direction, but it was a weird. There were weird choices that were made in regards to their relationship.
Right. I mean, I kind of think there's the scene in the middle where they're taking the royal wedding portrait, and she wants to wear the necklace that her father gave her with the photo of her mother. And then, of course, they want her to wear this crazy, necklace or whatever. And the two of them are kind of standing next to each other. And I just, like, anyone watching this would think that they were, would not think that they were, long-distance fiancés finally, in the same place and, excited to be hanging out or something. Even when the camera of the portrait, I mean, is not on them. They're not like, super excited to see each other or anything. It's just, it is an interesting set of choices. Like, somebody wrote this script, and then they were like, it's fine if you guys don't really interact, even in the scenes you're in together. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, how long do you think they've been apart? Because the impression I got at the beginning is that they were traveling back and forth, like, all the time.
Right. Well, they've been, because when the movie opens, it's been a year since they got engaged, because obviously they got engaged
since last Christmas.
For Christmas, right. So, and then, there's the part where her dad says something like, oh, you moved all your stuff here. So clearly they've been back and forth, but she's also been back in New York doing her blog called Amber's Blog. So, if you may remember the very important plot point of A Christmas Prince 1, she gets fired from her magazine job. So,
oh no!
Presumably the only journalism she's been doing in the meantime has just been her terrible blog.
Where she's ratting out on royal life and everything.
I mean, so it kind of feels like when you're watching it, you're kind of like it's cool they've been kind of going back and forth, but she probably could have just moved there. What does she have for her in New York? She's got her dad's shop and two friends, sort of, and this blog. Maybe she just doesn't want to break her lease. It's a little confusing.
Do you know how hard it is to get an apartment in Uptown?
Yeah, you're bringing up a lot of questions that this movie did not want to be asked. But
I mean, look, and I'm not going to pretend, I didn't enjoy it. I'm just saying, for a movie that is supposed to be a romantic comedy, first of all, it's a little light on the romance.
Well, I have a theory on that one. They're already together. What could you really do that would cause them to recapture the romance? I mean, that would be... and I don't have an answer for that. I don't know if you have an answer, but it's just kind of like, well, they're already together. We can't split them up and then have them come back together. That would feel cheap. I don't know.
So, I think it'll be interesting to see. So, have you guys seen Crazy Rich Asians yet?
I'm going to take that. That's a negatory on my part.
Okay, but you're familiar with the concept.
Yes, yes.
Right. So they're based on a trilogy of books, which I have not read, but I read about them. And then I thought, am I going to read them? I probably not. But I did like the movie. But
just
so in the book series, the first one follows Rachel and Nick, and then, the end of, spoiler alert, they are together at the end of it, and then the two following books kind of focus on other couples, but still follow the strains of their relationship, as it moves along. And I feel like, when we see this next movie, because they set it up for the sequel, and they've greenlit the sequel that is, his cousin Astrid is falling in love with, her former fling, and, that's all going to be the sequel. I bet we're still going to see some, stuff from Nick and Rachel in the background where you're like, oh, these are two people who bone.
Mm-hmm.
So, just kind of, how sometimes you, go to a party and no one tells you that those two people over there are a couple, but you kind of know? I just don't feel like we necessarily got any of that from this movie.
So, Jen, what you're asking the producers of The Christmas Prince 3 is you want explicit sexual tension between one or more of the of all the people starring in the film. If I'm reading that correctly.
I would
that.
In a movie where so I'm not exactly clear how old Princess Emily is, because she both is old enough to break into what should be public financial records of Eldovia. It doesn't matter, but
also,
she can hack computers, and she has a crush on a boy, but also somehow doesn't still believes in Santa ? So what age is she? She could be any age. But I guess I felt like they built up more sexual tension between her and the other child of indeterminate age.
Yeah.
12, 14.
Well, the actress
8,
is 14,
whatever.
But who knows how old she actually is.
So I'm just saying, they built that up. They were like, look, these two people want to kiss and they can't. Whereas I feel like with, the main characters, they presumably have time to kiss. I mean, presumably they're sharing a bed or something, but I
don't think they are. Because they brought her to her own bridal suite.
Jen, you forget, these are royals. They come from a different culture than us.
So, I could understand the lack of sexual intimacy at this point because she's officially moved in. Probably royal, the old stick in the mud was big on royal procedure, so they probably were not allowed to sleep in the same room. But I don't know. If they did it beforehand, probably because it's the year 2018. Of course they did, but I could see in the context of the film during the time that the film covers why they're apart, at least in terms of beds.
So that's interesting because we did have royals living together in England, the only country in which Americans care about the royalty. We did have...
No, people care about this country too, apparently.
I do remember reading a fair number of articles after Harry and Meghan Markle got engaged that were also here's some other hot royals that are single. And I was just reading through this list or whatever and was like, oh, I guess I forgot that other people also have monarchies, because the only ones that the American media ever covers in any sort of salacious detail are, I don't know, these two kids who I don't feel like are aging super well in honor of their father, presumably.
Yeah, it's and clearly the monarchy in these movies are based loosely off of England and all that, but
I mean it's definitely fake England.
Yeah.
Because I did not see the first one, but the moment they said the name, I had to do a Google search because I could have sworn I thought it was the same name as the fake country that they used in the Princess Diaries films.
No.
Turns out it's not, but it's very close.
Right.
So I'm going to assume in my head that Aldovia is the poor next-door neighbor to Genovia, which is the fictional nation from the Princess Diaries, which I'm pretty sure is... I mean, they're look, a lot of people like these Princess Diaries movies, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they came out 10 years ago. What have we made
enough to make a sequel, certainly.
Starring Chris Pine.
That's true. Chris Pine is in the sequel.
We can't afford Anne Hathaway. Let's just get somebody else. The one thing I will say, okay, so I've seen kind of movies of this quality before, where they're Hallmark or Disney Channel, and usually, I was waiting through the entire thing. There's usually that moment where they're oh, they managed to get that actor, where they have some sort of, I don't want to necessarily necessarily want to say washed up, but like somebody's like, oh wow, that so and so is in this movie. But
like,
it wasn't really
someone
any,
whose name is like a little too high. They're a little bit have too much of a star to be appearing in something like this.
I mean, there's definitely, if you watch like the Hallmark Channel, there's like a stable of actresses who had their own TV show in the 90s who are now just regular. But if you are like a working mom in Hollywood, Hallmark movies are the way to go. I listened to a really interesting podcast with Kelly Martin, whose name you probably don't remember, but she was on ER. She was like a famous redhead. And anyway, she was talking about how, Hollywood, it's tough to make it in Hollywood, right? And then you reach a certain point and like you don't really care about the money, but you have like a family and you don't want to be away from your kids for too long. So you like go and shoot these movies, and they're like 15-day shoots, and you just kind of show up, everybody who's on the crew, you do 3 of them a year or whatever, and that kind of takes care of you. I mean, honestly, it sounds like a great gig if you're not going to get cast in, like, real movies.
Right.
Well, I was kind of thinking, because... Oh, sorry, Nick.
No, I had nothing. Go on.
I was going to say, I was kind of thinking, because, Megan and I are big, like, Riverdale fans, and, like, all the adults in the show were, like, 80s or 90s, like, teen heartthrobs.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was kind of expecting. I was like, holy shit, you're in this? Or they managed to get you to sign for these, but it was like when I first saw it, I thought the dad was Judd Hirsch. I don't know why. Like, he just had that, he was like, it was like when the casting director was like, can we get someone who's like Judd Hirsch light? Because we can't afford we can't afford him.
Was that a new dad? Was that a new actor who played the dad in this movie?
Yes.
Okay, because I didn't remember the dad being as goofball in the first one, and they had a line in there. It's like, he looks different. Like, well, he shaved his beard. I'm like, are they like throwing a joke to the audience to realize that they changed actors? So I was just kind of curious about that. I was too lazy to go back and look it up in the Wikipedia. But we've been talking about this movie, but we haven't been talking about the real interesting elements of this film, which is the whole political aspect of it, which is very unexpected. At least to me, I was not expecting the movie to be like this. The first movie had a little political element to it, where someone's trying to take the prince's crown because of some crazy birth, and they Da Vinci Code the real birth certificate or some. It was nuts.
No, because we have to cover this in detail because it was insane, which was that his father, the king, had written about how even though he was adopted, he should still be king, but like wrote about it in a poem in an ornament on the Christmas tree.
What?
Amazing.
Whoa, okay. I'm coming here as the only one who's not seen the first one. So, wait, back up. So the prince in the movie, he's actually the adopted son?
Right. He was like adopted. And so his cousin Simon, who's in this movie, is the comic relief / also the love interest for generic best friend number 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Whose name is not worth looking up. But so he was adopted. So Simon comes out of the woodwork and he's like the cousin Duke whatever. And he says, "Okay, since you were adopted, I'm the next living male heir." Of course, there's still Sister Emily, who I guess we don't care about because girls are icky. And so Simon was going to take over the crown on Christmas Eve when you do official state business. And then they Amber, who's, got her intrepid journalism spirit from running her blog, she figures out that the real answer was in this ornament that was shaped like an acorn, if I recall correctly. And she goes and smashes the ornament, and then there's this declaration from the king about how, even though he's adopted, I still want him to be king. Also, I forgot I have a daughter, whatever.
Also, couldn't that just been said on my deathbed?
Right, or I feel like a lot of things that are laws are written into laws and not left in acorns. But I've also never ran a country, so I can't speak to how I would handle the pressure.
So wait, was he whenever he's having this ornament made, oh, this is like, his wife's like, what are you doing with that ornament? Oh, you guys are gonna love this in like 20 years when I'm dead. Like, it's gonna be a hoot. Everybody's gonna go crazy.
Right. And the Queen Regent was like real upset about smashing this ornament, although presumably she still has like some other piece of her husband who just passed away. But, again, like, once you realize how dumb your husband was for putting this declaration in an ornament, I feel like it's important. A good relationship, I understand maybe hiding it from the people, but you should probably tell your wife about the failsafe ornament declaration.
Like, just in case.
So did everyone else know that the prince was adopted?
I don't remember why they figure out the prince is adopted, honestly.
I think Simon found out and, like, revealed it, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, it seems like something he would...
Which, also, can I say... Sorry, I don't mean to cut off, but I will say... Because that was the only element I was like, okay, I don't know who this character is. I mean, they quickly spelled it out, but I will say the actor playing Simon is putting on his best impression of Tom Hiddleston doing Loki. Like, did anybody else catch that? It was very much...
I totally saw that, too. I was going to say, my favorite thing about Simon is that, like, okay, so in the first movie, this guy tries to, like, destroy his cousin's life to become king, and then they kind of grudgingly let him back in. Princess Emily is mean to him, but other than that, he doesn't really seem to have suffered any consequences. And then, when they finally do get married, who's standing up next to King Richard? It's Simon, I guess, who's his only friend. Like, he has 0 other friends.
Yeah, that was weird when he popped out, like, as seemingly the best man. It's like, wait a second.
I mean, the only man in this guy's life. Which might be why we see Amber's bachelorette party and not his bachelor party, because it would be the saddest party. It's just him and a beer.
And I love the security. Excuse me. I love the security. I'm gassy today, but I love the security at the castle where Simon could just wander in without any problems. That to the fact that the king and queen mother and all that don't know he's there until he's announced in their little fireplace chamber room. It's like, but
I like and they're also just like, Simon. Like, bum, bum, bum. We hate you, but it's Christmas. So, which I don't think is a real good reason to keep him around. I mean, he's kind of screwed you over before.
I mean, he's like a jerk, but also mostly harmless, so they're just like, it's fine. You tried to destroy our lives last year, but, like...
Oh, Simon.
What else? What else are we gonna do?
So, okay, let's...
Oh, sorry, back to the politics.
Yeah, that was last year. Now, this year, new scheme is coming up. So, besides them trying to get ready for the wedding, the prince, I guess he's the king now, he's trying to push forward these new policies that his late father started that is going to be a benefit to the country, in which all the country will be using businesses in the country to stimulate their economy, and everyone will be happy. But somehow, somewhere, people are upset because jobs are being laid off, there's no money to pay these people, and the king is taking the brunt of this for some reason, even though they also have a prime minister. I don't understand the political government of this country. Or
any country right now.
Well, that's true. But it's revealed ultimately that the father's friend who was helping him on these policies was actually siphoning the money in dummy corporations so he can get rich and let the people of this country be too bad, so sad. Am I right on this? Because I was kind of lost on what was going on with the economics.
So, I mean, I think the economics is that, yeah, I mean, I think you've got it. They're putting all their, supposedly these contracts are going to go to Aldovian companies, and then the company that is that they are actually going to is a shell company being run by someone, and so that's a problem. So then everybody's losing their job. I think the larger point that I think made this movie interesting for me was that we present this country in which, King Richard is in charge of everything, completely unaware of the where the money is going in the country, which seems like a pretty easy thing that somebody should have thought to look up. But, third of all, Amber, the heroine of the movie, is also a strikebreaker for children.
Yeah.
The theater gets shut down. They're like, oh no, there's a strike. You can't do the play. And then she's like, don't even worry about it. We're going to break the strike in the palace.
We'll get scabs.
What? It's just such a weird, very tone deaf, sort of way to make a genre that is traditionally not very political, other than to say that small towns are better than big cities, and working a creative job you love at a bakery or photography studio is better than being a big city person who has to wear suits. Is generally what you learn about in these movies. But here, they're just fuck it, fuck unions, break strikes, don't even worry about it. Break strikes on Christmas Eve, even.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if the message of the movie was pro-union or anti-union or.
It has to be anti, right? They literally crossed the picket line.
It's
the big bad union stopped the play.
What's strange
the union is the bad guy for not giving Princess Emily the chance to make googly eyes at her crush.
In their really weird Christmas story, which is it's how hard is it to tell a story of Christmas? It's look, you either do something magical with Santa or you do the Jesus stuff. And then it's an ogre and weird Eastern European shit for the story. It's why are you giving me this weird mythology? I kind of want to know where it's coming from, but why not just keep it simple? Just say Santa found some reindeer and he started flying around giving toys. Simple.
Yeah, that makes way more sense, honestly. No, but that part did make me laugh when she was just like, oh, so it's just like Frozen? No, it's different. Don't worry about it. I would love to see in the Christmas Prince 3, now there's a baby. I'd love